Christmas to you. Oh, you're a hero. Right, I'll make this story even longer for you. So, Iron Maiden, my first beat I played with Iron Maiden was January the 9th, 1983, officially. I joined the band in June of 1982, which was unofficial. But that's another story. You'll have to pay $100 to hear. Now, step on, album's released, we go to England, do a tour, come to America, we're in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Now, because I was the new boy in the band, Arry turned around and goes, right, Nick, you're going to do a drum solo. I said, I am. I said, isn't that Where Eagles Dare, the one that we start the set with? He said, no, you're going to do that, and then you're going to do a drum solo, and then Davey's going to do a guitar solo. I said, where's the bass guitar solo? I ain't doing one, I don't like bass solos. What do you mean you don't like bass play? You've got a beautiful bass guitar, you can play it reasonably well. See, I've only been in the band a few months, right? I could get away with it then. If I think about it now, what a silly boy. Because Arry could have turned around and go, piss off, right? Talk to me like that. Anyway, we did the solo. Now, bear this in mind, I forget what song it was between, and I'm going into this solo. Off I go, fucking head down. Octopus round my drum. I mean, I could really play back in the day, mate. I mean, I was young, fit. I used to have 3 birds on each arm. Oh, God. Anyway, so I'm into this solo, right? All of a sudden, I get prodded in the back. I've got me, right? I've looked round, and there's this guy called Paul. Now, Paul was a light rigger. He would climb up the rope ladders and get on the trussing and focus all the lights. He's dragging me in the back. Then this is him. Harry. What? Now I'm on a 10 by 10 riser in those days, 10 foot by 10, right? And I'm way up the front of it. So there was a bit of room between him and me. And I couldn't hear him because I'm throttling on the trunk. Yeah, I'm blazing on this solo. So I said, piss off! And he did. Off I go, I'm still back in the wind. Next thing I get another porter with a drumstick in the back. This time a little bit more with zest. Get out, what are you doing? So this goes on, right? I thought I heard Harry. Now that means he's talking about my bass player who's my boss. Right? So I'm in the solo, I thought, right. I told him unequivocally, piss off. Right? So he's contact. Now my drum tech was standing next to him. Now he should have got up and spoken in my ear while I'm playing. He's my drum tech. That's what they do. These guys know how to talk to you when something's going on. Next thing, another stick in the back. This time I've gone, you! I can't tell you, boys and girls, what I swore at. As I stood up, swearing at him, I threw the drumsticks down on the floor tom. They flew up in the air. It looked like I planned it. Now I've got these 2 overheads above the mic, and I said, you see you next Tuesday. You know what I said, right? Now, these 2 overhead microphones picked a lot up. So the audience thought it was amazing. I don't know if anyone was there. They all gave me this rapturous round of applause and cheer. Then I sat back down and started the solo again because I hadn't actually finished. So, moving on to the end of the gig, I've gone in the dressing room. I said, Arry, now we had porter cabins, right, for dressing rooms. It was the State Fairgrounds in Pennsylvania, Allentown. No proper dressing rooms, just, you know, so there's me and Steve, Dave and H, and Bruce was on his own. So thank God that motorbike's shut up. Thank you. Anyway, I'm in the dressing room with Arry. We got changed. I said, here, I said, that bloody geezer Paul He came over to me, he made me F-U-C and the, right? He made me King mess up. He went, yeah, what's the point? I said, what's going on? I'm in my solo, and this bloke comes up, he said something about you. And he went, I sent him. You what? I sent him. You need to go and apologise to him, he says. I said, you can go and take a long jump off a short pier. I ain't doing anything of the kind. So we had an argument. It went on for 20 minutes, me and Steve. All calmed down. Bruce walks in. He's got a cassette. You remember the cassettes? In his back pocket. We didn't know this at the time. And he goes, this is Bruce. Nick, what if somebody was going to tell you the light truss is going to fall on your head? I went, well, if I didn't hear him, I'd be dead, wouldn't I? So we started this argument, me and Steve, with Bruce. And it went on for a good 3.5, 4 minutes. The F word was used probably 100 times. And I turned around and said, we called it Mission from Arry. And I turned to the bench and I said, I don't care if he's on a mission from you. You don't do that to an artist when they're playing. If you need to get a message to someone, you send the drum tech or the guitar tech will come up and whisper in your ear. Extend the solo. That's all Steve told him to tell me. Extend the drum solo because his bass battery on his wireless had gone dead. So he wanted to make sure he had enough time to change it and make sure it was working. So he sent this prat. By the way, he wasn't working that night because he had an abscess on his tooth and he'd been to the dentist and the dentist told him you can't go climbing up no ladders, you're on this heavy antibiotic. So he had a night off. Made my night a misery! So we finally saw this cassette in the back of Bruce's pocket and Arry turns around and goes, "Son, see you next Tuesday," is recording this, at which time I said, okay, and Steve grabbed him, I pulled the cassette out of his pocket, Bruce's pocket, said, is there anything on this? He says, no mate, no, there ain't. And Harry's got him in a beer up. So I put the tape on the floor, took the tape out and went like this, to break it. Right? Now, I had a pair of Chelsea boots. They're like called Beatle boots in those days. They were quite a high heel, about 1 inch, girls. I'm proud, I can wear 1 inch heel, don't worry about it. Well, fortunately, the cassette got kind of caught under it, right? So the next thing, Bruce has got away from Arry and he's gut punched me. He's going to give me a good boom. I went, and with that, he's picked the cassette up and buggered off down to the bottom of the hospitality part of the porter cabin. And I'm like living now, I'm getting my breath back, and I looked at Arry, and Arry went, Nick, don't do it. I said, Steve, nobody resorts to violence in any band I played in the past or in the future. I'm gonna go and kick his fucking head in. Sorry, I swore, I know. That's another $200 in the pot. So I went steaming down the porter cabin. And Bruce was sitting on the couch. And he stood up when he saw me coming at him, because I was seriously going to leave the band. Honest, I was going to leave. Yeah. So he stood up and went, Nick, I'm sorry. It's like the old cartoons, you know. Black smoke coming. What? What do you mean you're sorry? And he's got a cassette. He said, I forgot, I've got some lyrics to a song called Power Slave on this CD. On this cassette. Right? Which was the next album. I said, oh, you didn't say that. He said, I forgot. He said, but I've got some lyrics for the song. So anyway, we go over to NASA to do Power Slave. And we just got talking about that night. And Bruce was saying, do you remember the argument? And me and Harry went, oh yeah, we remember the argument, you bastard. You started winding us up. We'd already been at it for 20 minutes. So Harry says, what happened to that tape? You still got it? Bruce went, yeah, of course I have. We're writing a song called Power Slave. We've got to pick an album called Power Slave. What do you mean if I still got it? Of course I have, he says. Right? So, Bruce said, my missus, he was married to a lady called Jane then, he said, she's coming out next week, why don't I ask her to bring it with her? He said, I've got the lyrics for the song, but she's got the tape at home, which she brought out with her. So on my life, ladies and gentlemen, we put it on in the full speaker system, and we sat back in full stereophonic, blasting it out, the whole band, Martin Birch, all the road crew, and we were on the floor in stitches. And Arry turned round, he went, we got to let our fans hear this. What do you think? And I went, yeah. I said, I don't mind. I said, because Bruce. Anyway, that's how the story happened. Now you see, nobody knows what happened after we turned the tape off. So that was the story, boys and girls. Thank you very much.